Dobry den,
Zdravejte.
and welcome back to our little Bulgarian adventure.
Well, we've had a busy week this week.
We have had a busy week,
Yeah.
but we've also got lots done. It's been
Absolutely.
quite good.
Yeah. Since our delivery arrived last Friday, it's been all systems go. Let's just motor on because we've had enough delays, we feel.
But we are nearly there.
Yes, we're so very close. As you can imagine, most of the week has been taken up with work on the summer kitchen. This is what we've got and how far we've got this week. So now that we've got our roof and our delivery has arrived, I can start putting up the cross pieces where we need them to support the roof panels. Now I've already done a few, you can see up here, but I'll show you how we're doing them because they're being cut with a bird's mouth, which I'll explain what that is, but they're put up so that we know they're in exactly the right place. They have to be cut individually because, as I've said before, some of the wood's a bit twisted, some's a bit bowed, so I can't just cut them all in one, put them up and they'll be right, because they won't be. So I'll show you what we're doing and get this roof up. Now if you're wondering what a bird's mouth is, it's this cut here into the wood that allows the wood to sit on top of the joist. It gives you a larger surface area, so it's a more secure joint, but obviously you've got to measure, mark and cut them, so that's the job we're going to be doing next. So I've now cut the bottom bird's mouth, put it in position and clamped it in place so it doesn't slide around, which means it's now held at this end so I can mark it at the high end. That way I know I've got the angles right, I know I've got the distance right, and it should fit. Let's find out. So that's that joist cut in place. There's a bit of a gap, but bearing in mind how twisted the wood is, that's not bad. So move on to the last one and then we can secure these in position and move on to the next step. So there's the rafters running front to back on the summer kitchen roof. We've had yet another change of plan, and it's a design thing which I hadn't considered until the roofing material arrived. We're going to have to put cross pieces in that run from side to side to support the roof, and I'll show you why. So these are our roof panels, and we've had to change from supporting them lengthways to supporting them across. The reason for that is the ridges. The ridges there will keep the panels flat from end to end, but not from side to side, and that's quite flexible there. So had we run the panels as we planned to on beams, we'd have a sagging roof, and we want a flat roof. That's why we changed the plan. The way I'm planning on putting these side to side supports in is basically, you can see where I've drawn some lines on the beams themselves. We're going to cut wood to fit between each beam. It'll be screwed in, which will give us a grid. We've then got a grid to fix our roof panels to, and it will support it from side to side and give us the flat roof we're after. And there we are, we've fitted the noggins or the side to side supports. The grid is made. We now just have to stain the wood because it's going to be easy to do that before we put the roof on. Once the stain's on and it's dry, we can then fit the roof, and that will be our roof complete. We can then do the fun stuff of kitting out the kitchen. But first things first, let's get some stain on this bare wood. After an extensive period of staining wood, we've got to the stage now where, with grids in place, the wood's stained, it's darkened it down, which is what we wanted, and it blends in a lot better with the surroundings. So we're quite happy with that. I did, however, underestimate how much of the stain we were going to need. So we've got 3 of the pillars still to do, so I've got to go and get another can of the stain. But we've done it in such a way that the high up areas are all stained, so that we can carry on putting the roof on and it's not going to delay us. I think the summer kitchen has suffered enough delays so far. We'll just carry on and see what we can get done, and hopefully today we can get the roof on. Now, one thing we've got to do is we've got to make sure that the front edge of the roof is level with itself, so we don't have a kind of a stepped roof. We want it to be flat if we can. Then we're going to put guttering on to collect rainwater. But the way we're going to get the roof is we're going to put a clamp on one end, a clamp on the other end, put some string between the two, tighten it, and that will give us a straight line that we can line our roof up with. So, as you can tell by my hard-working assistant there, we've done the first bit of panelling. This is what it looks like from underneath. That's the colour patina that will develop on the panelling, so it's not so bright and shiny all the time. You can see the strings we've put from side to side. They're to give us a straight line for putting the screws through the panels and into the beams. It's going to be very shiny from above, but luckily we won't see it from above. So that is now the roof on the shelter. Like I said earlier, we still got to finish off staining some of the pillars, but that's the main structure done. We can now start putting stuff in it and getting it how we want it to use. And of course it's proving ever popular with the cats. They've now got shade. There's an outside carpet they can lay on. In John's case, he just likes to be in the shade, under the shelter. So they're quite happy with it, and I'm sure we will be too. So we've now finished staining all the wood because it needed it. You'll also notice we put some lights up. They're solar lights, so we'll see how well they work when it gets dark. And there's another thing we've added which hopefully will help keep us a little bit cooler. We've added some water misters. Now the theory behind these is that they keep the air cooler in the shelter by evaporation and water vapour. How well they work we don't know, but they certainly produce water mist and vapour, so we'll monitor it and see how it goes and let you know. They were a bargain. We picked them up for less than 20 lev in Lidl when it was one of their middle of Lidl offers, so we thought we'd give them a go. We did experience them in BT 4 years ago and they seem to work very well, so we'll keep you posted. Well, there you are. It's practically finished.
Yeah, just got the electrics to put in, haven't you?
Yes. Yes, the electrics need to go in. Now, ideally they want to be buried underneath the garden path from the house to the kitchen.
And they will be.
They will be in the fullness of time. But we're not doing the garden path yet, so I'll work something out.
Yes, they're probably going to go overhead for the short term.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know yet. But as soon as I know, you'll know. But we did have people asking about how much did our summer kitchen cost us. So we decided we'd do a basic breakdown of pricing, starting from having nothing there to what we have now. So we started off with the slab.
Yeah, the concrete slab, that came in at about 187, I think,
186.
Yeah.
186 leather. All these prices are in leather. We'll give you a conversion at the very end for the grand total. But this is how much it cost us. So 186 for leather, that was the concrete, the sand, all that sort of stuff.
Rebar.
Then we've broken down the kitchen island into stages because we built it in stages. And the first bit, which is the structure, which is the kind of walls and building that side up and rendering that bit came to 143 leather. The worktop slabs that I poured to put the worktop on top of, they worked out at 30 leather. The tiles,
Which
absolute bargain.
A bargain, yeah. We can't. It's not really a fair price on the tiles because
No.
we paid, I think, 7 or 8 lev for the 4 big white tiles.
Yeah, we've only used 3 of them.
We've only used 3 of them, and all the other little bits were offcuts from when we did our
the hallway
floor. So our total for tiling our kitchen worktop came in at about 9 leather.
Well, it actually came in about 20 because we had to buy some grout.
And adhesive, yeah.
So with grout and adhesive, that kind of doubled the cost.
Yeah.
Outrageous. Plumbing, as you know, we've got water to both the outside of it and the inside of it. The plumbing came to a total of around about 100 leather. That was pipes, elbows, fittings. Taps. The outside tap, the sink, and the waste for the sink have all been recycled from that we already had here. So we haven't put a cost in for those because they didn't cost us anything.
Yeah, the sink came from our original kitchen here, didn't it?
That's right, yes.
Mike and Naomi had left. So
that's the plumbing cost. Now the most expensive part was the framework to put the roof on top of. And the reason it was so expensive is the price of wood has gone up. But there's a lot of wood involved in it, but it came to 520 leather. Yeah. That's the wood, the stain for staining the wood, and the screws, and the post holders that screw into the concrete. So that's all of that framework.
And delivery.
And delivery.
Get that in the car.
No, and I don't have a roof rack. The roof itself, which was the bit that really delayed us because it wasn't delivered in time, that came to a total of 214 leather. Yeah. And that's for the panels and the screws because you need special screws to screw them in. The mister, the vapour mister for the water, we weren't going to include, but it's on there, so I suppose we would have put it in. Just under 20 leather. Yeah. I can't remember if it was $17.99 or $19.99, but under 20. Yeah. And like we said, we haven't done the electrics yet, but the electrics will be about 60 leather. Yeah. So that's, as we stand at the moment, there is additional bits and pieces. We will be putting furniture in. We've got a outside carpet there at the moment. That was about 20 leather, I think. So we will be putting stuff in there, but they're kind of additional accessories rather than structural bits. So our structural bit to go from nothing there at all to what we have now was a 1,313 Bulgarian leather.
Or £568.
40 pence. Very important, that 40 pence. So that's how much it cost us. Now,
of course, that doesn't include your labour.
No, that doesn't include my labour, my skill, my research.
Or your research, yeah.
Or the very, very long time it took me to do it.
That's all priceless, I mean.
Absolutely.
Priceless.
Yes. There's no substitute for experience, as I found out.
But yes, no, we're quite pleased with it, aren't we?
Yes.
And it is so much cooler on
It's amazing the difference. When I was putting the roof on, Max was laughing at me because I was on top of the roof and I had the sun because it's reflecting off the metal roof. He was underneath nice and cool. I was boiling.
Yeah.
But now it's done, and I was out there this morning having coffee at 6:30 this morning. Lovely.
Yeah.
Nice
Very
and peaceful, watching the sunrise. That's what it's all about.
It is.
Yeah. So yes, that's our summer kitchen almost finished.
Yeah. And we got another little bit of useful information.
We have, yes.
I don't know if people will remember, but when we first went to Schumann Market, we got a strange piece of paper put under our windscreen wiper that said it was a parking fine.
Yes, we weren't sure what it was. Nothing was filled in on it.
There was no document number. There was nothing. It was just like a torn off piece of photocopy paper.
Yes. So I wasn't sure what it was, but it did say it was for a violation on parking. So
Yeah.
I thought, well, how do I find out that?
And where do I pay it? And how much did I owe? We weren't sure it was genuine, but
you don't want to leave it in case it is.
Parking fines here do increase if you don't pay them off quite quickly.
Yeah, they will put interest on it, I think, after a certain amount of time.
Get a discount for paying
exactly
within 14 days or something.
But we found the webpage on the website of the Ministry of Interior, which you can check any motoring violations you might have. So it could be speeding, it could be parking, it could be driving without a vignette, any of those sort of offences. You can check. Now you do need the number off of your residence card, the one that starts 100, etc., etc., and also the number off your driving licence. Now I have a Bulgarian driving licence,
and it works with that.
We
don't know about if it works for the UK one, but
we can't try it because I haven't got a UK driving licence anymore. But it worked for me. I didn't have any because I'm a good boy. I pooped along roads quite slowly, much to the annoyance of most Bulgarian drivers. So yes, I was in the clear, but it's worth checking. I will leave the address down in the description. It might be written slightly strangely because if it's a web address, YouTube might not let me put it on there, but you'll be able to work out where you go. And if not, send me an email and I'll email it to you.
Yeah. So Andrew, it doesn't look like we did get parking tickets that day.
I think we're okay. Another piece of really exciting news.
Oh, exciting for me.
Absolutely. Lynne has something she's been after for a while.
Yeah, I wanted a dresser to go into the dining area that we've got in here, just for storing my bits and pieces in. And I've been looking for possibly 2 years to get the one I wanted, because it had to be a certain size, quite small for Bulgarian size furniture, so it had to be under 1 metre wide. I also would have preferred to have glass doors on the top rather than just open shelves, because Bulgaria is dusty.
It is dusty.
And we've been looking, haven't we, for ages and ages, and they've either been ridiculous prices, or just not been able to find one that fits in the area that we've got to fit it in. But with many great thanks to Christoph and Connie,
definitely,
we finally got. They'd spotted a piece in Belgium, and they were bringing stuff over anyway. So they said, "Did we want it?" They sent us a picture, and we thought, "Oh, it looks the right sort of size. It looks the right sort of thing that we want." And it got here, and it's just fabulous. It's wonderful. It's exactly what I've been looking for. So,
and here it is in its glory. So we've already put stuff. Well, Lynne's already put stuff in there. She loves that sort of thing. And yes, it goes really well in that corner of the room.
It does. It matches the other furniture we have in here. So much better than the cupboard we had.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely perfect.
Which actually goes quite well in our spare room. So, and some people now
almost
have
like
places
we
to put clothes if they come to stay, which they didn't have before.
No. So yes, that's another thing checked off the list of things we wanted to get sorted.
Yes, we're almost down to buying all the furniture we need.
Yeah. Of course, that was the last piece until then Lynne then decided, oh, I need a bookcase now, and There are two more
I think you're
things.
going to have a go at the book.
I'm going to see if I can build one.
And same as the outdoor.
What could possibly go wrong?
The outdoor table and chairs. I think
Yeah.
you'll end up building that.
Yes, I've got some woodworking projects coming up, so we'll see how they go.
Yeah, so a busy week, another hot week here.
Oh yes.
But it is starting to get cooler overnight, which is a blessing.
First thing in the morning is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have air conditioning in our bedroom, do we?
No.
So,
Only Max does.
yeah, Max does.
Where did we go wrong there? So with all that exciting news, I think you're fully up to date with us for this week. So until next week, it's time for us to say,
Be well.
stay safe.
Dos Squirrel.
Dos Squirrel.